The most anticipated earnings releases for the week of August 28, 2023. Presented by Earnings Whispers. There are around 125 companies scheduled to report earnings this week. Among the S&P 500 companies, many are within the staples sector, including Smuckers, Hormel, Campbell, and Dollar General. And the technology sector, with companies like HP, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, Salesforce, and Broadcom. The staples have been laggards so far this quarter. Nordic American tankers will kick off the week on Monday morning. Expectations are for margins to remain steady, which would provide a modest upside to the consensus estimate. This stock is priced under $5 and is projected to have a 14% move on earnings. Earnings are returning to the levels seen in the early days of the pandemic when the stock exceeded the $5 mark. Another EV company will report this week. Most of these companies have recently underperformed around earnings, and expectations for NIO are the lowest since the beginning of the pandemic. After spiking in late July, the stock has retracted to the $10 range. While the stock has mostly traded above $10 for the past 5 years, the majority of its volume has been below this price. Despite the recent increase in overall retail sales, performance among retailers has been mixed, with distinct winners and losers. Best Buy derives most of its revenue from computing and mobile phones. While these areas haven't been particularly strong, appliances constitute an important segment for the company and have shown resilience over the quarter. A potential beat is likely to come from margins. Current estimates project the weakest margins in years, excluding the pandemic lockdown period. Feedback on back-to-school sales and projections for the upcoming holiday season will probably drive the stock price, though. Investors and traders will mainly focus on two companies on Wednesday, CrowdStrike and Salesforce. Both companies continue to exhibit positive trends. However, even with the expectation of these trends continuing, investor sentiment is largely neutral. Both companies are slated to report earnings 5 minutes after the market closes. Thursday is the busiest day for earnings, with approximately 50 companies scheduled to report. While MongoDB is a significant consideration for investors, the primary attention is on Broadcom and lululemon. Broadcom's narrative revolves around AI. Notably, NVIDIA recently reported positive outcomes, which was widely expected, whereas Marvell announced disappointing results, which came as a surprise. Generally, the trend seems to lean positive, but the future suddenly looks more uncertain. The sentiment around lululemon mirrors that of Broadcom, and it too faced recent setbacks when trying to achieve new highs. But the price action appears to have done more damage to lululemon's stock price. On Friday, the only earnings release is from Ding Dong Limited. The company isn't widely covered, but with its stock reaching lows, investor sentiment is bearish. The focus for another Friday will be macroeconomic indicators rather than individual companies, with the release of the payroll report and ISM manufacturing numbers. Expectations are for both to be comparable to last month's. For the most part, options are projected for smaller than average moves on earnings this week. However, Samsara is an outlier, having shown a significant rally post-earnings and more recently revisiting that gap. Its recent entry into the market makes it more volatile, but trends have been encouraging. Shh.